The grandeur of Windsor Castle has staged countless spectacles of diplomacy, but sometimes it is not the speeches, nor the handshakes, nor even the state banquets that define the memory of an official visit. Sometimes it is a fleeting moment, a phrase so brief that it could have been overlooked, yet so perfectly delivered that it becomes the heartbeat of the entire occasion. During the historic second state visit of President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump to the United Kingdom, such a moment arrived not in the vaulted chambers of St. George's Hall, but on the green lawns of Frogmore House. It came in the form of a 5-word comment from Melania Trump that both charmed and surprised the royal press corps. Those words, directed toward Catherine, Princess of Wales, echoed louder than any toast or declaration made during the glittering evenings of the visit. "She's the only princess here." The visit itself was layered with symbolism. Donald Trump became the first U.S. president in history to be invited for 2 state visits, a rare honor that testified to the enduring significance of the Anglo-American bond. Britain, keen to display the resilience of tradition, and America, eager to underline its historic friendship with the crown, both invested heavily in pageantry. The Trumps were received with full ceremonial honors, a military guard resplendent in scarlet and gold, the Union Jack and stars and stripes flying side by side above Windsor, and the ringing chords of both national anthems filling the summer air. Inside Windsor Castle, King Charles and Queen Camilla presided as hosts. It was a new era. Queen Elizabeth II had passed, the monarchy was adjusting under Charles's reign, and yet the familiar rhythm of royal hospitality was upheld with meticulous precision. The highlight, as always, was the state banquet. St. George's Hall glittered with chandeliers polished to a mirror shine, the tables dressed with priceless china and crystal, and the seating arranged in strict accordance with protocol. At the King's right hand sat the American president, while the First Lady and the Princess of Wales shared their own moments of conversation across the table, observed closely by photographers and body language experts alike. But the magic of diplomacy often happens outside the main halls. For Melania, the most telling chapter of her visit unfolded during a joint engagement with Catherine at Frogmore House. The two women, so different in background yet both accustomed to lives lived under relentless scrutiny, were brought together for a program with scouts. The setting was informal, children in uniforms, laughter in the air, the ease of outdoor activity softening the formality of the occasion. And it was in this environment that a young scout, with the innocence only a child could muster, asked Melania if she herself was the next princess. The situation could have been awkward. A less adept guest might have stumbled, laughed off the question, or unintentionally implied a comparison. But Melania, in a display of quick wit and diplomacy, turned toward Catherine and smiled. Her answer was short, clear, and impossible to misinterpret. "She's the only princess here." Observers noted the elegance of that reply. In 5 words, Melania showed not only humility, but also respect for Catherine's role, reinforcing the princess's singular place in Britain's royal hierarchy. It was a masterstroke of soft diplomacy, elevating Catherine without diminishing herself, and avoiding the trap of feeding speculation about rivalries or comparisons. The comment quickly made its way into headlines, with commentators describing it as the clearest sign yet of Melania's admiration for the future queen consort. Catherine, for her part, received the gesture with her customary poise. Dressed in understated elegance, she was the embodiment of royal continuity, the bridge between the monarchy's storied past and its unfolding future. Melania's remark, acknowledging her as the only princess, reinforced that image, as though affirming before the world that in the halls of Windsor, Catherine stands not merely as William's wife, but as the undeniable symbol of a monarchy moving steadily toward the next generation. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's own words were also capturing attention. Away from microphones, lip readers caught him telling King Charles, "It's so incredible, it's what you do so well." The line, respectful and almost awed, suggested a genuine appreciation for the king's role and the machinery of ceremony that Britain still executes better than any nation on earth. Later, during his formal banquet speech, Trump went further, describing the return invitation as the highest honor of his life and praising the special relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom. Back in Washington, he continued to gush, calling Charles a wonderful guy and remarking humorously that he had seen more paintings than any human being has ever seen during his Windsor tour. Yet for all his superlatives, it was Melania's comment that carried the true symbolic weight. Royal watchers in both Britain and America noted how her words revealed an instinctive grasp of royal protocol. First ladies are often measured not just by their style, but by their ability to complement, never overshadow, their royal hosts. Jackie Kennedy once dazzled Buckingham Palace with her charm, Michelle Obama drew attention with her warmth, but Melania's strategy was quiet acknowledgement, signaling admiration without intrusion. By identifying Catherine as the only princess, she aligned herself with tradition and subtly distanced herself from any suggestion of rivalry, ensuring her visit would be remembered for grace rather than controversy. The media seized on this. British papers framed the comment as an elegant nod to Catherine, while American outlets described it as Melania's most authentic moment of the trip. Social media, too, reacted with a mix of surprise and approval. Supporters praised her tact, while critics admitted the remark was disarmingly thoughtful. In a political climate often defined by brashness and conflict, Melania's understated diplomacy shone as something rare, a moment of genuine respect that required no spin. Catherine's role in all of this was equally telling. She engaged warmly with Melania, offering glimpses of camaraderie between the two women, yet her composure never faltered. Body language experts pointed to Catherine's posture, straight, confident, and serene, as a sign of how she anchors the monarchy's image even in informal settings. When Melania redirected the child's question toward her, Catherine's gracious smile was enough to affirm the moment without needing to say a word. It was as if both women, in their own ways, conspired to protect the dignity of the crown while highlighting the bonds of friendship. What makes this story endure is the contrast between spectacle and subtlety. Trump's speeches at Windsor, his declarations of highest honor, and his effusive praise of King Charles all made headlines. But it was Melania's modest comment on a garden lawn that truly resonated. It captured the essence of diplomacy not as a matter of treaties and declarations, but as a matter of gestures, perceptions, and the ability to honor the roles of others. As analysts later noted, the remark also carried a symbolic message about Catherine's trajectory. She is no longer merely a duchess accompanying her husband. She is the central female figure in the next generation of monarchy, a woman whose every gesture is studied for signs of the queen she will one day become. To have the First Lady of the United States defer to her publicly as the only princess was to underline her status in the global imagination. It was an affirmation not only of who she is today, but of who she is destined to be. The Trump state visit will be remembered for its pageantry, its banquets, and its political theater. But when history is written in the quieter margins, it will recall too the 5 words that distilled the essence of the trip: respectful, tactful, and entirely human. She's the only princess here. In that brief response, Melania Trump proved that sometimes the smallest remarks are the most lasting, and that diplomacy, like royalty itself, is often a matter of what is unsaid, but clearly understood.